The topics of today are going to be shoulder, possibly hip, neck and headaches. So a couple things that I've seen throughout the week I'm going to share with you all and let you know kind of the solutions and things that I've encountered this week, because I still have a couple of cases virtually that I did. I've got a construction company that I still handle virtually because they're still working. So that was a shoulder case. We're gonna just talk about things on how the best ways to help you with your solutions that are not always stretches. All right, so as you jump in, I'm having my super gourmet lunch. Pre-lunch, I'm gonna call it a pre-lunch, that I'm having a protein shake. Because it's awesome, and I have a feeling that my post-lunch might not have that much protein in it. Might have fun. So, chat with me if you're on Zoom, and if you're on Facebook Live, this is mostly just to record for it to post on YouTube. And I'm laughing that I'm mirrored in my two screens. So, anywho, I guess it's good that I have letters that you can't read, so it's not annoying that it's backwards all the time. All right, so again, as we jump in here, please chat on there. Give me your name, tell me where you're from, tell me what the weather is today, because here in Colorado, the weather is a little crappy. It's snowing. So that's not fun at all for us. I was kind of ready for good warm spring weather, which we've had just a little bit, but not a ton of it. So super, thank you kindly. All right, so one of the continuations of last week is the one shoulder case. I think my dad will let me give you permission because we talked about him last week to the other week. But he was having some pain and aches in his shoulder, in his deltoid area. And such is the case on the construction client that I had, also a shoulder, also stretching wasn't the answer. So it's just a topic that I think, at least for me, beforehand, you're like, it hurts here, let me stretch that part, let me foam roll the heck out of it, let me destroy it. Oftentimes, that's gonna aggravate it more. So I need you to rethink that if you have some aches and pains and that you're stretching it and rolling it and nothing's happening, then I want you to rethink the solution. Because if it's not getting better, then it's the wrong technique. It's the wrong thing to use, or the wrong body part to work on, okay? And I say this a lot, but it's so true on lots of things that sometimes a part, the pain is there because it's threatened and it's not happy and something's going on. So to poke and prod and overstretch is really gonna make things worse, or it might just help for a day or two and then go back. So if that's you, that it's only temporarily helping, then you need to rethink this. So on these shoulder cases, it's eerily similar how they work, but with my dad, we ended up narrowing it down to the neck muscles. And so there's all these different muscles in the front of your neck, underneath that big trapezius muscle that's kind of your top of your neck and shoulder here, underneath the big one that you can see, you know, when people turn your head. This one is your sternocleidomastoid. You can be fancy and say your SCM muscle, but it's what goes from your sternum to your mastoid. Okay, so it's what helps turn your head both directions. But the mantra that you kind of want to say is, if you've got pain in an area, oftentimes the solution, or excuse me, the source to that pain is one joint above or one joint below. All right, and you want to check both. So shoulder, we found that the neck was actually causing the problem, because even though doing a lot of homework of posture exercises against the wall stretch, which you all know I love, okay, I still like this, but it's not the one and only solution for everyone, okay? Works for a lot of people, but not for everyone. So troubleshooting that just stretching wasn't helping, we went into different ranges of motion with the head. So you should be able to have, and I think we discussed this last week as well, up, down, turn, ooh, can I get to all the way one shoulder, can I get to the other shoulder, and tilting range of motion. So this was one that my dad was short on. So that's where we started working, and it turns out that it helped the symptoms of the shoulder. Along with some tape, we taped the shoulder, it's still taped, and using some floss on the shoulder as well. A lot of times what the floss will do, it's funny I shouldn't have worn red because you can't really see it on here. What the floss will do is give the sense of security to the joint and the muscle, to where movement gets better when you can wear that. So that's where you want to know that there's so many cool solutions with tape, with floss, with stretching, and then exercising. So ultimately, with both shoulder exercises, it's more about kind of an isometric contraction. So I'm like backhanding into the wall right here, and I'm holding it in really good posture. I'm not here and doing the motion. I'm in really good motion. And then you can start to work whatever pain-free areas works for you, okay? So we're flexing and we're strengthening and we're getting that joint really comfortable in all ranges of motion, because if it's threatened, then it's not going to, it's gonna be kind of haywire. Does that make sense? That it's gonna be jumpy. That's one that a lot of people, I know if I get some aches and pains in my knees, I'll go into a motion and it hurts and I'm like, oh, don't do that, right? But kind of analyzing and trying to figure out, well, if I go into it in this position versus this position, I feel better. Just finding your pain-free motion, keep the motion going. If you have those aches and pains, don't stop moving, okay? If it's a big injury, it's really swollen, if it's big stuff, you still get to move other parts of your body, right? You can still, if it's an upper extremity injury, you can go up and down on the stairs. If it's lower body, you can still move your upper body. You get what I'm saying? So movement is really the key for a lot of things. So that's what's happy about those. Please jump in with your comments. When you jump on, just let me know where you're from. And I've pointed out weather here in Colorado is sucky and snowy, but it's gonna get better for the weekend. So hopefully everybody's doing all right. One of the other tools I wanted to show you was something that we have for rock tape is something called rock blades. Okay, they're it's a massage tool that's metal. You may have seen other things like Graston techniques. You can do so many different things. This blade, this Mohawk tool, has a cool silicone cover on it. So what's actually neat about it is that you can lay it on the skin, all right, and you can really get some skin traction to this. Awesome on scars, just so you know, okay, because oftentimes scarring around the scars, the scar tissue builds up and movement doesn't happen very well. You need to really get some ungluing going on, and guess what? You don't have to have this cool fancy tool with the silicone cover, because you might have one of these in your kitchen. Just saying, the silicone spatula is really close to the same silicone. It's the same stuff. Guess what? And you can push and hold and get the traction. So on anything that's bothering you, if you have scars that need work on, my knee scars do really well with this sort of manipulation on them. And it helps moving forward. So some of you are asking, why do I have tape on my wrist? Well, if you're on any of my social media channels, especially my Instagram and maybe my Facebook, I get bored really easy of home workouts. So someone invented a table climbing challenge, which go on my Instagram, you can find it there. But essentially you're climbing under the dining room table and trying to make it all the way around without touching the hot lava on the ground, right? There's hot lava, everything's hot lava on the ground. Super fun. I just later on realized, yeah, that kind of aggravated my wrist. So my wrist hurts kind of right here. This is where I made the X, all right? This is kinesiology tape. No matter what brand you're using, you make an X where it hurts, okay? You clean the skin, you put it on, 1, 2, and then you leave it on, all right? You can shower, you get to get it wet, you pat it dry. It helps with the pain relief, and for me, I think what really helped most is inflammation. It really helped decrease. I could feel like it was a little swollen in there. So much better today. And then you keep it on as long as it'll stay on. It's infamous. And like I was telling my construction guy with the shoulder that ended up getting his shoulder taped. Leave it on as long as it stays on, because I think 90% of the time I hear from people that I took it off because I didn't think it was doing anything, and oh, it was doing something, right? So it was actually working. Anyway, and then you don't want to waste tape. So I get distracted by my little, yeah. I saw him. He was trying to be so sneaky, right? Yeah. Anywho, tape is a really great thing to have around the house, and you can buy it on Amazon right now. I think Amazon might ship it a little quicker than rocktape.com, but you can get it on either stuff. I also was laughing that, you know, I don't know if you can see it. It's a little better today, but I had bruises from my table climbing. Anyway, it comes with the territory. I'm sure it wasn't always, when it's not the smartest choice, right out of the gate, but it was a fun workout. I definitely got stiff and worked out my arms a lot. So table climbing, I wouldn't recommend it for all tables. Our table is very sturdy, our dining room table. I'm gonna safety disclaimer on anyone who has a really lightweight table, don't do that. They're not so lightweight. Yeah, it may not have stayed for my husband. Might not have done that, but my son tried as well. I was not successful, by the way, but I'm going to be, and look forward to that on my Instagram on how to go forward. All right, so this is a weekly thing in our household, but thanks. Anywho, so shoulder stuff. If you have any more questions on that, please jump in and type in your questions. If you have any requests as you're coming on. Just doing a short little 30-minute bit here on any aches and pains. I see some people popping in and popping out and doing all those things, which I love. Thanks for stopping by. But comment where you're from, so I kind of at least know that. And if you have any requests on any aches and pains, because a lot of people are at home and home ergonomics that they haven't been before. There's a lot of people still working, and healthcare providers and your delivery drivers and oil and gas always works through all of this sort of stuff. So, which reminds me, I had 2 messages this week from my workers that neck stuff, okay? Neck into headaches, migraines even, and just overall neck pain. So I want to review one of the biggest, one of the most common sources of your neck pain is because your head's really big, right? I always say it, that the average weight of the head, human head, is 12 pounds. And that's like a bowling ball on a broomstick, right? So anytime it's going forward, all right? So one of my guys, he drives trucks a lot. So if this 12-pound head is a little bit forward, not resting on your headrest, which that's what it's actually for, then any vibrations or bumps is just gonna overwork the back of the neck, all right? So there's a lot of things that you can do to help that. One easy stretch is to kind of lace your fingers behind the base of your neck, lower, and just try to look up at the same time. Okay, so it's really trying to help you bring your head back on your shoulders, because once that starts happening, that all those neck muscles in the back of the skull start overworking and getting over lengthened. They're gonna shoot right up. So with my one case that was causing migraines are so personal for everybody, because it could be stress related, nutrition, hydration, lighting, you know, obviously in these times, everything can affect migraines. But if it starts and it feels more like a tension headache turning into a migraine, then I would really recommend checking out the wall stretches. One of the other ones that I gave him was what we started with on our first Lunch with Lori Live, is the neck stretch. So the pin and stretch is what we call it. You take your skin and you pull it down, and then you look up, and then you pull your chin up like this. So it looks really funny. I call it, on my YouTube channel, I call it the stretch to do when no one's watching, or do this when no one's watching, or something like that. Okay, because it always looks funny, and I do it all the time online. So I'll be visual for you. But the idea is that you pull down, and you can do it over your clothing as well, but just for visual, pull down on your skin, and then look up, and then push your chin up like this. And that's what's gonna really help unglue the front stuff from getting really tight, okay? And then this one, where we're gonna look back, it's really gonna help unglue those little muscles that are at the base of the skull. And hopefully a little ungluing helps circulation be better, and better circulation often helps prevent headaches, okay? Circulation is really the answer for a lot of aches and pains, because it's what brings all the body's natural healing products to the area, okay? Circulation of your blood and your lymph, all right? So all of that stuff you want to circulate around. If you find that you have an area of swelling, swelling is lymph edema, but it's in your lymphatic system. The thing about your lymphatic system is that it doesn't get the heart to push it around. You have to move it around with your own body circulation, or with gravity. So that's why you always say elevate. When you injure a body part, elevate. Compression is really good for that sort of thing. So always remember, circulation is really desired when you're trying to heal your aches and pains. Over these last couple of weeks, I think the major complaint that I'm getting from everybody has always gone back to posture. Shoulders, if you're sitting at the computer, driving too much, stressed, all of those, or lower body stuff, it's usually because you're sitting too much, all right? Or standing, stagnant too much. Everyone's like, oh yay, I have a standing setup at home, so I'm just gonna stand all day. Sucks to stand all day. You don't wanna stand all day. Sitting down, or like me, I'm standing, but I can have my foot on my dining room chair, right? Bring it back here. Ta-da! And guess what? This action, you can use the dining room chair, you can use a little footstool. Footstool's maybe a little appropriate. I like this one. I don't know if you can see me enough. I think you can. Because guess what? This sets you up for my most favorite express mobility move, called the Captain. Everybody should know the Captain move, because it can be done anywhere, and it's a great mobility for your upper and your mid-core section, okay? Captain Morgan, anybody know the image, right? This is how we start, but it's called the Captain Mobility because we're not drinking. Please, don't do that. But you stand up tall, you tilt over. Even this tilt, guess what? Your spines are meant to bend and tilt. The tilt feels good. You might feel some stretch in your thigh, but even then you can take your hand, keep going to the inside of your foot with one hand, up with the other hand, and then I tilt even more with my spine, right? And then I'm gonna flow back to the other side. My chest faces the same direction, reaching down on one way, up with the other, and then you do it one more time. Captain, tilt your captain, reach to the inside of the foot, up. This is where you get to turn on your video and you can show me how you're trying it. And then go back to the other side and reach. So I gotta do the other side because otherwise I feel crooked, right? So you can just turn around backwards or not. But so here, your legs up, all you do is tilt. Granted, I don't want you in really sucky posture, right? If you're up, proud, tilted, you look pretty badass. So that's why this works so well. And then you reach to the inside of that one foot and up with the other arm, right? So I'm really getting a good side stretch for this, hip stretch and groin stretch for some others. And then you tilt to the other side, reach down with one so I can get a little bit of the other stretch. And then you just do it one more time, 2 times on each side. It's maybe 20, 30 seconds of your day. If you're going on both directions, the captain. You know, I finally put it on my YouTube channel, and a lot of people were wondering if I had it there, and I didn't have it there. So that one, you'll just find yourself in this position sometimes. You're like, hey, just tilt right over into it. Okay, you can even do the twisted captain, which means that you are twisting your body and then heading this way. It's an extra level. You might not be ready for it yet. But it's one of those where I always tell people that the spine, is meant to bend and twist, right? We are built that way. It's a very strong, stable part of your body. We're not meant to bend and twist with really crappy posture and then a really heavy load. Those are not meant to go together. But I think everyone gets a little too paranoid of like, don't twist your body at all. And someone's like, oh, well, I need to pick something up and go over there, so I'm gonna rotate my feet and not rotate my back, okay? No, with heavy stuff, you don't wanna whip it around, but to twist gives you that circulation. It's like wringing out a sponge, all right? So just wanna encourage you all, don't be afraid of moving your backs. Even when you've had some back pain before, here's that circulation conversation again. There's a huge patch of fascia in your lower back that decreases your circulation because there's not much good flowy muscle tissue to have it all go through. And moving, twisting, is gonna help bring that, unglue it, and get you better circulation so you feel better, all right? So movement is the key to a lot of lower back pain. It's really not instinctual. You don't want to move all the time when your back's a problem, but guess what? You need to. I've got a lot of stuff on my YouTube channel that you can find for lower back. I think I did a whole hip and back series, and it's currently in process. I got a web person to help me out that we're shifting it all to my website at balancebio.com. It will be there eventually, so make sure that you can know YouTube now, balancebio.com later. All the videos are going to be there, all right? So we're getting close to the end, and everyone seems to be feeling super awesome today. So I just know that my requests were, and things that I've dealt with this week, were shoulders, necks for neck pain and headaches, and what else did I say? I don't even remember. Oh, don't stretch everything to death. Stretching is not the only answer for all your aches and pains. So make sure, a lot of times it's strengthening and movement in healthy ways. You want to move better so you feel better, and all of that circulation can help you out. All right, does anyone have any final questions or anything like that? Easy peasy this week, you guys. I want you to have a good weekend. If you've signed up through my email that came out, there was a link to put all of these on your, a link to put them on your calendar so you remember each time it comes around on Fridays. I'm going to be doing them every Friday until we're out of this quarantine mess. So I hope to see you then. Thank you for joining me. Facebook out.